Hey everybody, welcome back to Brainiac Baseball's 1980 Detroit Tigers season replay. Today's matchup is between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Detroit Tigers at Tiger Stadium. On the mound for Toronto is Dave Stieb, whose record is 8-7 with a 3.74 ERA. And pitching for the Tigers today is Rick Reuschel, whose record is 8-13 with a 5.03 ERA. And so here we are, we're at game 100. And before we get along with the festivities of game 100, I want to take a moment and just thank a few people. First and foremost, the maker and CEO of Baseball Mogul, and that's Clay Dreslow, who has encouraged me to create these videos and really allowed me to do title cards and add the Topps 1980 baseball cards to the videos. So he didn't have to do that. He doesn't have to allow me to, make these adjustments, but he has, and I really appreciate that. And I also want to take a moment to thank a couple Facebook groups that I follow and that allow me to post these videos on their site, and that is Baseball Sim Addicts, Sports Simulations and Replays, and Baseball Gaming Extravaganza. If you're into baseball sim, definitely check out those websites on those group pages on Facebook, and you'll get a lot more fun content, hopefully like the one you're watching here today. So I just want to take a moment and say those words, and let's go ahead and get started with today's game. And as always, if you enjoy this content, please like and subscribe. And we have all of our bullpen available today. Our starters have been going a lot deeper than they have in other parts of this season. So we're on a good pace right now and giving our relief pitchers a little bit of a break. Here's our lineup. It's the same lineup as yesterday. So let's get the stats updated. There you go. And we'll go ahead and do the lineup rundown, and then over here on the right side, you'll find those 1980 Topps baseball cards that represent the players over here on the left. So batting leadoff and playing right field for Toronto is Lynn Jones. Batting second and in center field is Rick Bassetti. Batting third and DHing is Tim Corcoran. Batting cleanup and at first base today is John Mayberry. Catching and batting fifth is Ernie Witt. Batting sixth and playing shortstop is Steve Davis. Batting seventh and in left field is Al Woods. Batting eighth and making his season debut at third is Ken Maka. There we go. I'm sorry, it's Mike Maka. And batting ninth and at second base is Garth Orge. And here's Rick Reuschel's stats. As I mentioned, he is 8-13 overall, but he's making his 10th start for Detroit since the trade. And he's evened his record up at 4-4. His ERA so far with Detroit is 4.50, and opponents are batting .302 against him. He has 2 complete games, and so he's given us some steady innings. And with a good performance today, he can get his ERA under 5. So let's go ahead and see if he can do that. Here's Lynn Jones leading off against Reuschel. And Jones gets a base hit through the left side. And so runner at first. And Rick Bassetti comes to the plate. And Jones steals second on Parrish. He has been pretty suspect behind the plate recently. We're going to pull the outfield in because Bassetti has low power. And maybe we can get Jones thrown up at the plate if it's a base hit. But in fact, Bassetti grounds to second. Jones advances to third, so 1 down. And here's Tim Corcoran. Corcoran hits a pop-up over second base. And it looks like Trammell has it for the second out. So 2 down. Here's John Mayberry, probably the only decent hitter the Blue Jays have in this game. And he's going to squander the opportunity to get a run in as he pops out in foul ground to Thompson. So now we head to the bottom of the first, and we'll do the Tigers lineup. Batting leadoff and playing second base today is Lou Whitaker. Batting second and at short is Alan Trammell. Batting third and playing third base is Richie Hebner. Batting cleanup and in left field is Steve Kemp. Batting fifth and catching today is Lance Parrish. Batting sixth and in right field is Gary Hancock. Batting seventh and DHing is Carlton Fisk. Batting eighth and playing first base is Jason Thompson. And batting ninth and in center field is Omar Moreno. And here's Dave Stieb, the ace of the Blue Jays. He's making his 23rd start. He's 8-7 overall with a 3.74 ERA. And opponents are batting .268 against him. 6 complete games and 1 shutout. And this is very early in Dave Stieb's career. He had a very long and storied career. Many missed opportunities with no-hitters in the 9th inning. He did finally get a no-hitter. And maybe other than Jack Morris was the pitcher of the decade for the 1980s. And the Tigers start off with Whitaker striking out and Trammell flying out to center. So that's going to be 2 down for Richie Hebner. And Hebner will ground it to third. And that's the third out. So we head to the top of the second with Ernie Witt leading off. He's 2 for 3 against Rick Reuschel this year. And Witt grounds it to short. That's 1 out. And that will bring up Steve Davis. And he goes down swinging. That's 1K for Reuschel. And 2 outs now for Al Woods. And Woods grounds it to Whitaker. And a 1-2-3 inning for Reuschel. And we head to the bottom of the second. Steve Kemp will lead off. And he goes down swinging. 2 Ks now for Stieb. So Lance Parrish with 1 out. And he pops it up to short. And Davis drops it. And so Parrish is safe at first. This has been a sloppy series defensively between the Blue Jays and the Tigers. Both teams just coughing up all kinds of errors. Gary Hancock flies out to center. In yesterday's game, it was Hebner who had error in the first and the second inning. And so we got off to a rough start, but we did come back to win. As Fisk pops it up, and it's caught by the third baseman, Maka. And speaking of Maka, he's leading off the top of the third, and this is his first at-bat of the season, and he did get into a few games in 1979, but this is his first game with Toronto. And he goes down swinging to start off his Toronto career. So 1 down for Orge. Orge walks. So runner at first. 1 out. Orge has average speed. And Jones is going to pop it up to Trammell. There we go. It's 2 down. That's going to bring up Rick Bassetti, who's 0 for 5 with a K against Reuschel. And he pops it up on the infield. Trammell has it for the third out. So only 1 hit between the 2 teams. Score 0-0. And here's JT. He's 2 for 4 with a walk against Stieb. And there we go. That's going to be a base hit down the right field line. Maybe go for 2. Yep. Thompson gets a double to start off the inning. He's in scoring position. We're going to have Moreno lay down a bunt. He's only slightly above average in his bunting skill set. And there you go. He strikes out. So, yeah, not what you want in those situations. So 1 out, and that's a third strikeout for Stieb. That will bring up Whitaker, who has a lazy fly ball to right. And Thompson, it's a 50-50 shot. And, the score is, it'll be the third out at third. You know what? I'm going to say no. He is the slowest base runner on our team. So it doesn't really make sense to get him thrown out. Especially with Trammell, but Trammell does ground out to third, and we waste that opportunity. So to the top of the fourth, at least we got our first hit of the game. And Tim Corcoran leads off. He hits a weak pop-up on the infield, and Whitaker has it. That's 1 down. And that brings up John Mayberry. Mayberry hits a fly ball to right. That's 2 down as Hancock makes the catch. And wow, all kinds of things going on now. I don't know what's going on. We're going to close those up. Sorry about that. And so that will bring up Ernie Witt with 2 down. And Witt strikes out looking. So we head to the bottom of the fourth. Score is still knotted at 0. Hebner leads off. Hebner has a home run against Stieb from earlier this season, and he gets a base hit back up the middle. So runner at first. Here's Steve Kemp. We're going to have him hit and run. His contact is a 90. So there you go. There's a base hit to left field. Hebner will probably have to hold at second. He does. So first and second, and this is a double play opportunity with Lance Parrish batting. It's 2 for 8 with 3 strikeouts. Runners at first and second. And yep, he grounds it right to the second baseman, and they turn 2 fairly easily. So Hebner advances to third. And here's a shot for Hancock, who's been clutch all year. Just been a great move. There you go, base hit to left field, and we're on the board. And no, we don't need to stretch that to a double. So it's 1-0. Tigers have 3 hits this inning. And with 2 down, Carlton Fisk comes to the plate, and he pops it up right over the pitcher's mound to second. And Orge has it for the third out. So to the top of the fifth, 1-0 Detroit. Here's Steve Davis leading off the inning. He grounds it to Hebner at third. That's 1 down. So with 1 out, here's Al Woods. Al Woods gets a base hit just past Trammell. Runner at first base. Maka, not much of a bunter. So we're going to pitch to him, see what happens. Oh, base hit back up the middle. And Woods has to hold at second as Moreno gets it in quickly. So first and second, here's the number 9 hitter who's got a 63 power. So not likely to get a big hit, but he does get a base hit up the middle. And a run scores from second, and it's first and third. Only 1 out. And we're gonna play back for a double play instead of bringing the infield in. And Lynn Jones will have a fly ball into left center field. That should score the second run. And he does. So just like that, Blue Jays take the lead 2-1. So 2 outs for Rick Bossetti. And Bossetti pops it up at the plate. And it's caught by Parrish for the third out. So to the bottom of the fifth, Dave Stieb now has the lead in his favor at 2-1. And Thompson goes down looking. So that's the first out of the inning, and that's the 4th K for Dave Stieb. And here's Omar Moreno, who failed to get the bunt down, and he strikes out looking for his second strikeout of the game, 5th overall for Stieb. And really, since he missed that bunt, that's kind of when everything went wrong. The momentum has totally changed. And Whitaker grounds out to second. So to the top of the 6th, we're going to switch the stats over to the in-game stats. And other than the fifth inning, Reuschel's still doing pretty well. 68 pitches with Tim Corcoran up, and Corcoran jacks it into the right field bleachers to give the Blue Jays a 3-1 lead. So that will bring up John Mayberry. He strikes out looking. So it's 4 Ks now for Reuschel, with Ernie Witt coming to the plate. He pops it up on the infield. Probably felt good for Corcoran to get a home run against his old team. That's his 5th on the year. And with 2 down, Steve Davis hits a jack of his own to left field. That one's deep, 430 feet. And that is his 9th home run of the year. So just like that, they put a couple 2 spots up on the board. And it's 4-1. And another base hit for Al Woods. The 7th hit against Rick Reuschel today. So 2 down, runner at first for Maka. And is that going to be another hit? Nope. Kemp's going to make the catch, and that's the 3rd out. So that'll probably be it for Reuschel, who was cruising until the 5th. And then he just kept giving up the long ball. Trammell starts off the bottom of the 6th with a base hit. So we got Trammell on first, and we're going to let Hebner swing away. He does have a home run against Stieb. So we need a big hit right now as he strikes out looking. 6 Ks for Stieb. So runner at first, 1 down for Steve Kemp. And Kemp hits a fly ball to center. That's the 2nd out. So 2 down, runner at first. Here's Lance Parrish. And he will get a base hit to left field. That's his first hit of the game. And we don't need to risk that. A 3-run shot from Hancock will tie the game. Hancock's 1 for 2 today with the only RBI for the Tigers. And he's going to ground out to first. And that is the 3rd out. So we head to the top of the 7th. Reuschel's only at 91 pitches. But he's clearly lost it. So we're going to take him out. We're going to bring in Tom Hume. We haven't pitched him in quite a while. So Hume comes out of the bullpen, and here's his stats. He pitched 1 game for Cincinnati before the trade. He's got 17 games for Detroit, no record, 4.24 ERA for Detroit, and opponents are batting .324 against him. So he's got to get the next 3 righties here, with Garth Orge leading off, and he strikes out Orge looking. So 1 down, back to the top of the lineup with Wynn Jones. And Jones grounds it to second. Whitaker tosses him out for the 2nd out of the inning. And here's Rick Bassetti with 2 down. And Bassetti's going to get an infield hit. And Whitaker can't make the play. So runner at first. That will bring up Tim Corcoran. We've got 3 lefties in a row. We're going to let Hume pitch to Corcoran. And Corcoran grounds it to second. And that is the 3rd out. So to the bottom of the 7th. And Steve is totally in control right now, with Fisk leading off. Fisk puts a charge into it to center field, and it dies at 381. It's a cavernous center field at Tiger Stadium. So 1 down for JT, and a line drive right back to the pitcher. And Steve's got it for the 2nd out. So 2 outs, and here's Omar Moreno. He's 0 for 2 today with 2 strikeouts, and he skies it to second. And Orge has it for the 3rd out. So we head to the top of the 8th. We're going to take out Tom Hume, who did get 3 outs, and we're going to bring in Dan Schatzeder to at least get these first 2 lefties. So Mayberry leads off. He's actually 3 for 7 against Schatzeder this year. And Schatzeder gets Mayberry to ground to second. I'm assuming a lot of these at-bats are coming from when Schatzeder was our temporary starter. Witt is up with 1 out. He pops it up into foul ground, and Thompson has it for the 2nd out. So 2 down, and that will bring up the righty Steve Davis. Davis hit a bomb earlier, and here he goes, hitting it to the deep part of center field, and he coasts in a second easily with a double. But that'll bring up a lefty-lefty matchup. Here's Al Woods facing Schatzeder with 2 outs, and Woods pops it up on the infield. That should be the 3rd out. And it is. So to the bottom of the 8th, we're running out of time here, as Stieb's at 95 pitches. Looking pretty good. Lou Whitaker leading off, and he grounds it to 3rd. Maka has it for the 1st out. 1 down for Trammell. And Trammell wears one right in the ribs. So we got a runner at 1st. Let's hit and run. Let's get things moving. So Hebner with the hit and run on. Oh, he misses the ball. Trammell is caught stealing. And that's how you know you're going to lose, is when things like that happen late in the game. There's a reason for that, even though Hebner gets a base hit. And advances to 2nd on the error by Bassetti. Bassetti, a strong center fielder, but boots it out there. Hebner goes to 2nd. And so Kemp will come up with 2 outs, and he strikes out. So nothing doing there. We're going to take Schatzeder out. I didn't show Schatzeder's stats. Sorry about that, for those who were interested. So we're going to bring in Roger Weaver to get the final 3 outs. Mike Maka will lead off the 9th. And Maka is going to pop it up to Whitaker at 2nd. Trammell at short. And Trammell has it for the 1st out. So 1 down. Here's Garth Orge. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI today. And Orge will fly out to center. It's 2 outs. And here's Lynn Jones. He's got an RBI for the Blue Jays today. He's going to walk in this at-bat. So Jones stands on 1st with 2 outs. And a chance for Rick Bassetti to keep the inning alive. But he lines out to Whitaker. And that is the 3rd out. And now they're going to bring in their closer, which is Baylor Moore. Now, I don't know if he's a closer or not, actually. But they're bringing him in the 9th, so he must be the closer now. This is only his 9th game. He's 3-0 in relief. 3.98 ERA. Opponents are batting .194 against him, and he's got 1 save. So he's been pretty much lights out. Maybe that's why he's in the closer's role. Parrish will be the first batter to greet him, and he flies out to center field. So just like that, there's 1 out. And that will bring up Gary Hancock, who's only batting .129 versus lefties. And he gets a base hit. That's a surprise. Just past the shortstop. And so Hancock's on 1st. And Carlton Fisk eats left-handers for lunch. Let's see if he can take advantage of him here. There we go. Base hit to center field. We got a little rally going. And, oh man, I want to do it just because I think we should. But it will bring up the tying run. So we're going to say no. And I can't let Thompson hit. He's only batting .164, and Lightning will not strike twice. So we're going to bring up, let's take a look at the versus lefties. Wow, Bob Baylor's batting .377. I think that's an easy choice, although Brookins has the pop. But you know what? Let's just keep the rally alive. We're going to bring in Baylor. Baylor versus Baylor. And Bob Baylor, with runners at 1st and 2nd, gets a base hit to right field. Hancock scores from 2nd. And, wow, I really want to go. 70%. We're going to say yes. Oh, no! Come on! That is unfair, as Fisk is thrown out at 3rd for the 2nd out. And now we are going to bring in Tommy Brookins, the right-hander to bat, versus Baylor Moore. We need a miracle And even though Brookins is not a great hitter, he has been clutch. So let's see if he has a 2-run shot in him. Oh, defensive indifference. So Baylor takes second, Bob Baylor, that is. And so 2 down. Here's Tommy Brookins again, now with an 0-1 count. Now it's 2-2. And he gets a base hit to left field. Oh, man. And an error moves him into scoring position. So an error on the left fielder. And we got some drama. And we're going to leave it up to Whitaker, although he's been struggling. He's 0 for 4 with a strikeout today. And we need him to break out right now with Brookins at second. He's a tying run. 2-2 count, and he takes the third strike looking, and the Tigers lose 4-3. And that'll keep, well, I guess the Yankees must have lost because we're still 3 games back. Let's take a look at the transactions. And nothing of note today. So we're going to pull up the box score and we'll get out of here. That was a disappointing game. Reuschel couldn't hold it together, and the offense falls short. Even with Toronto giving us 3 errors, we couldn't take advantage of it. And so who's going to be the player of the game? That's going to be a tough call today. I guess we're going to go with Gary Hancock, who was 2 for 4 with an RBI. I should get the MVP for putting in Baylor and Brookins to get pinch hits. But we're going to give it to Gary Hancock, and I'll just take a pat on the back. Reuschel takes the loss, 8-14, with his combined record with the Cubs and the Tigers. Dave Stieb gets the win, well-deserved, 9-7. And Baylor Moore gets the second save despite giving up 2 runs in the 9th. Home runs by Corcoran and Steve Davis. So that's going to be it here from Detroit. Everyone, please like and subscribe. And tomorrow will be Game 4 of the series. We'll close it out. And until then, everyone, have a great night.